I do post a little bit about my job at Farnham Hall and about the vegetable garden that we've got. Did you know I'm into gardening now?
No, I never knew
I
that.
don't do any work in there, but I go and take pictures of all the vegetables and all the fruit. It's
Very
quite
nice.
good. I'll show you around in a minute.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
But do you know what? There's something really quite rewarding about watching plants grow.
Is that?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're nearly 30.
Right. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. So this is, I think, episode, I'm trying to think now, maybe 18, I think, of guests.
You should maybe do your research before you.
I know, yeah, to be fair, this is a bit, it's a good send. But we've got a very special guest today, one of my closest friends, I would class you as, Max Winder.
Thank you, Adam. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I know. We went to see the podcast yesterday, but Max spied it off last minute.
Yeah, it's too busy, yeah?
Busy man. So basically the way we do the podcast is I will get you to introduce yourself to the viewers and the listeners. So if you were meeting somebody for the first time, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, I don't know. I'd go, hi, my name's Max. Pleased to meet you. And it's good to be on your podcast.
No, if you were meeting somebody like in a social setting or something like that, you wouldn't say welcome.
I'd say, hi, Max. Hi, Max.
You maybe like, oh, hi, I'm Max. I'm 20, however old, and I do whatever. Or
I'd go, hi, my name is Max. Pleased to meet you. I'm 5'9.5". How are you?
I think that's the most awkward introduction we've ever had. But no, that's fine. So that's Max.
I definitely wouldn't say that. Thank you.
I don't think you've ever said that to me ever. So I prepped you 5 minutes before. So the first thing we do is 3 facts about yourself. So let's go into them.
Okay, 3 facts about myself. Well, I didn't prepare at all for this, as you told me to. So we are just winging it. 3 facts about me. I am a hotel manager. I have blue eyes, and probably going to be the big talking point is I lived in Australia for the best part of 2 years.
So the first one, hotel manager, I reckon, should we maybe talk about how you got into hotels in the first place, and we'll talk about hotel manager later on?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So how did you get into hospitality or hotels in the first place?
Well, I guess it all sort of started when I was quite young. My uncle, who I thought was probably quite cool, was a head chef for Shire Hotels, which is actually where we met, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Back in the day.
So he was a head chef from very young there, and I just thought, you know what, I quite like to work in hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I finished school, I was going to go to university, and then I was clever enough, but I just couldn't be bothered. I hated the idea of studying for another 3 years to get just another degree and be in a lot of debt. So he actually, it was my auntie, got me a job at North Lakes Hotel behind the bar part-time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just sort of kept doing it.
Inspired from there.
Went from there, moved around the country a bit, worked on the Shire, well, it's Thwaites now, isn't it? Thwaites.
Yeah.
It was called a graduate scheme, but it wasn't. It was just a management scheme, management development program.
Mm-hmm.
Worked on that for the best part of 5 years, and moved my way up to hotel manager.
Cool.
Now.
Cool. See, it's interesting to hear like different stories, because people are different having the podcast of how they get into the different kind of areas of their life or their career or the professional, whatever they do, the job.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you went to study hospitality at university and you failed for the dropout now. So
I didn't fail. I got 2-1.
Now you're doing dodgy podcasts.
Yeah. But yeah, so people that didn't know that I went to uni in Cardiff to do hospitality and events management. First year, I dropped the events management because I thought it was boring for like the health and safety and the risk assessments and that kind of thing. But I was still working for an events company throughout uni, being an event promoter and stuff. And then my placement year, went and worked with Max, and he was my boss at the North Lakes, and then carried on doing the hospitality in the hotels. But then ended up paying that off, doing events, setting up my events company, and then getting into marketing that way. So it's weird how things kind of work out. So yeah, the second one is blue eyes. Right, get up to that camera and just show me blue eyes.
How close do I have to get?
As close as you want. So if you're not watching on YouTube, you've just gone up close up to the camera, so everyone go and watch on YouTube. So I don't think there's much we can really say about blue eyes.
Do you know,
why have you got blue eyes?
It's a fact. It's probably one of my favourite biological facts.
Oh, go on then.
Having blue eyes is a recessive gene, right? So you can only have blue eyes if both your parents have got blue eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've got like bluey, greeny, grey.
Yeah, well, text your dad. Has he got blue eyes? He must do.
I think he's got like grey one, like grey blue. I think my mum's got green though. I think mine are more like bluey green, maybe.
I mean, I could have just made it up, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Have you got blue eyes? Have your parents got blue eyes?
Oh, right, everyone. We've got a special guest in the audience, but she's not getting on camera. But if we ever speak to her, then you just know we're actually speaking to somebody.
Is this your first live audience, Adam, as well?
I've had Yoni in the audience before, but I feel like I'm under a bit of pressure. So a bit of backstory is this girl, when I meeting her for the second time, and I've dragged her along on this adventure today. So she's sat here for an hour, and if we don't see her again, then I know why.
Yeah, I don't know who she is either. So I feel a bit sorry for her, to be honest.
I know.
At least she didn't charge.
Yeah, true. So the third one is.
You've forgotten, haven't you?
Yeah, I was kind of saying for you
Right,
that you've been to Australia. Yeah.
I've been to Australia, yeah, twice.
So I reckon what we should talk about, because that's probably going to be the big chunk's probably going to be the hotel management and the Australia thing for me. I want to ask questions about, but maybe in the first place, like what made you like want to go to Australia in the first place? Was it just because you went on the family holiday, or not?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess I sort of always liked the idea of going to Australia. Like, you know, when you're at school, you always know someone who's been travelling. They go to Australia and they come back and they
Oh wait, 2 seconds.
We're going again.
Right, okay, sorry. We always have technical difficulties on this podcast. Let's carry on. So, Australia.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess it was just always a thought that I'd love to go. And to be honest, I just never had the balls to go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was I doing? I was working in Bristol and I'd had a bit of enough of my job. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go home for a little bit, save some money. And then I'm going to go to Australia and have a bit of a career break.
Mm.
And that was in 2018. I decided that.
2018.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
I think yeah, a lot of people these days, well, people I speak to are very like set on, oh yeah, I need to just get a job and then that's me kind of set, and you'll never get another job again. Like you say, having a job break, I think it's important. There'll always be a job for you no matter what, won't there?
yeah, like how long's a career? 50 years?
Something like
So
that,
it's
isn't
like
it?
18, finish at 65. But when are we? Probably going to be 70.
Yeah.
So there you go, 52-year career. And I just thought, you know what, I could take a couple of years out and it probably won't make much difference.
Mm.
And that was the whole point. Like I didn't have any ties. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time.
Mm.
I didn't have a mortgage to pay off.
Mm.
So I thought, you know what, 26, getting on a bit now. I need to go and see what it's like living on the other side of the world.
I'm 26.
Yeah, and what have you done?
Fuck all.
But yeah, I guess I never went to uni, did I? So that was sort of my uni, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I sort of look at it, university and life.
Yeah.
Well, that's wholesome.
Mm.
There you go. Eh?
So let's go back to a little Max then. What you were like, kind of like growing up, maybe little at primary school, or first memories, and then what did you enjoy doing?
Oh well, I guess when I was younger, I'm the youngest of two. I've got an older sister.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little fat kid, to be fair.
Really?
When I was really young. So here's some stories for you. My mum, well, my sister was a real difficult child.
Yeah.
So
in what sense?
she always used to cry. And my mum and dad used to cave into all the time and do whatever she wanted. So when I was born, I was just a little fat kid that didn't really make much noise. And when I used to eat, my mum used to prop the like, you know, you get, I don't really know how babies work, but they do the milk, don't they, in a little bottle. And she used to prop it up on the top of a cereal box.
Yeah.
And just feed me with it, so she didn't have to have hold of me while she was feeding me. She could just leave me at the table. So yeah, just a normal real kid. I can't really remember any of that. My memory's pretty rubbish.
Yeah.
But growing up, I just liked playing football. I like to play in any sport I could possibly play. Probably a little bit shy.
Yeah.
Um,
Why would you
didn't
say
really
you
like
were
going to
shy
school.
then? Any particular reason?
I was just shy.
Yeah. Because
Um,
I know another guest who I had on, and he was saying he was very introverted when he was younger, like lacked a bit of confidence, but now he's the complete opposite, you know what I mean? He's very extroverted, and he was saying that it was his parents left him more alone when he was younger, and he's more independent, and that's what kind of pushed him. So, because obviously I wouldn't say you're very shy at the
no,
moment. Oh yeah, since I've known you,
I
really.
just don't like talking to people. No.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm definitely more introverted as opposed to extroverted. And I just like my own company.
Yeah.
I find situations where I don't know people quite scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think you people just have the traits, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think you're a bit of a product of your environment. And really, I lived in the middle of nowhere when I was a kid, and don't know, didn't really spend a lot of time with many other people, I guess.
Did you said you like football though? Did you enjoy, was it the educational
I liked
side?
winning.
Liked winning.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was horrendously competitive.
Yeah.
Still am a little bit.
Would you say that's what gives you like that cutting edge kind of thing?
No, I think it gives you a bit of drive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think you're similar. You're very driven in what you do, and I think it's just a natural thing to want to be better at everything.
Yeah, I think if it's worth your energy to take part, you may as well try and be the best. And you don't have to be the best of everything. You can be the best of your specific niche. So, say if you want to be the best hotel in the world, that's like a fucking massive goal, which is probably going to be next to impossible. If you want to be
How
the best,
dare you?
I'm going to get slated for that
How
now.
dare you?
But say if you wanted to be the best, was it small hotel in Cumbria or something you were in the awards the other day? It's more attainable, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just about creating goals and ticking them off, isn't it? I guess everyone's got to have a dream for something, otherwise you get a bit bored.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't have a will to do something or have a goal, then you
Purpose.
Yeah, what's the point in doing stuff? I don't see the point. I really don't.
So when you were growing up, you said you were maybe a bit more introverted, but you enjoyed playing sports and football and that kind of thing. So
I was very comfortable in an environment that I knew.
Okay.
And new environments were really quite scary. So the idea of once I was in the football team at Appleby, I knew everyone then, so it's comfortable. Someone's calling you. Kieran, get him on.
Kieran, you're live on the podcast.
Hello.
What are you saying?
Are you filming the podcast now?
Yeah, with Max, yeah. What do you want to say?
Oh, Sam. No, I was just asking about tomorrow, mate.
What time do you finish work tomorrow?
So I'm getting a lift in so I can take all my shit to work.
Yeah.
And then you can just pick us up from work and we can just get on the road.
All right, sweet. What time?
Say 2 o'clock.
Yeah, sound right. Cool. I'll text you in a bit because I'm on a podcast.
Yeah,
All right. Very unprofessional. But so you were very comfortable in your surroundings when you kind of like knew them then in team sports.
Yeah,
football.
completely. Once I was familiar with something, I was fine. It was, do you know those days that first day at school, hated that.
Yeah.
First day at secondary school, hated that. Just doing something where you don't know anyone is just quite intimidating, isn't it?
It's even say for me having like virtual meetings with new prospects and stuff. I'm like, what are they going to be like? Are they going to like me and stuff like that? But then I always think to myself, they're on this call for a reason, and they obviously think I can give them some value back. So it's same for both.
Have you ever
people,
do that thing where you think about seeing them naked?
No,
what's that? So if you're in,
isn't that a bit perverted?
Yeah, but it's something. Who said this to me? I read it somewhere maybe, and it was basically if you're feeling a little bit nervous or a little bit intimidated by a situation, just imagine them naked.
Imagine them naked or you naked.
Them. That'd be even worse. Imagine you naked in front of them. Can you imagine?
That'd be fucking weird. But all right, okay, so. You're very comfortable in certain surroundings, like football teams and that kind of thing. So, what kind of sports did you enjoy playing growing up apart from football? Then, cricket. And stuff
I played everything.
Into,
Here's one for you. I played every single sport for my school that you could play.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
What was your favourite apart from football?
Favourite part of football?
Favourite apart from
Cricket. I played a lot of cricket at school.
Yeah.
Cricket, golf. Played a bit of golf when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
That was it really. But yeah, I played everything.
Mm.
Played everything. Did a bit of tennis, badminton.
Bit of a team player then, would you say?
Yeah, but I was very selfish. I like to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed team sports. It's good, isn't it? Being that sort of team environment and feeling that you're achieving something together.
It's I think it's very different, isn't it? Like you say, if you win something alone or you experience something alone, you can't share that experience with someone. But when you're in a team, obviously, if you win or you're working with a team of staff or whatever, and you can share that together, can't you? Even going on holiday with somebody and going on your own, it's completely different, which I think's quite cool. So, progressing through secondary school then, how did you kind of develop, should we say, from the little Max into...
I don't know.
Making you think here.
Secondary school. I was just a normal kid. I was really quite intelligent. I was in the top specs for everything.
Really?
Which you probably can't imagine. But I wasn't really that asked about trying. I like the idea of getting good exam results and good GCSE results, but I didn't like the idea of doing any of the revision.
Yeah, I was the same.
So yeah, just normal bloke. Played football, played sport at school, went to my lessons, came home.
Yeah.
Played on PS2, PS3.
Showing your age now.
Call of Duty. Who didn't do that when they were 16, 17?
I know, those are the days, aren't they?
Oh, far better.
I think it's a lot easier, isn't it, when you're at school and you play sports and you're like decent at sports, isn't it, to make friends and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, people tend to be more friendly with people who play sports.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're like, rubbish. That's Max, he's in the football team, whatever.
Everybody said that.
So I think it is a lot easier. So so your decisions after school then. So you said, were you 16, 17, did you say, when you went into the hotels, or did you do A-levels?
I was, when I was younger, so I started doing I worked at a local pub, the Royal Oak in Appleby, when I was sort of like 14, 15, 16, 17. Started washing the pots and then ended up pulling a few pints behind the bar. And that was sort of, school growing up. And then I decided to get a new job. Well, my parents forced me to get a new job.
Yeah.
So once I finished my A-levels, I applied to Sheffield Hallam University, it was.
Oh, I think I applied for that as well.
Yeah, it didn't go there, did you?
No. My first choice was Cardiff, my second choice was Birmingham.
Ah, there we go. So anyway, I got accepted onto a sports and exercise science course.
Why did you choose that then?
Because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Like every person who's 18.
I liked playing sport, yeah. So I got accepted onto that, and it was so the year I was supposed to go to uni was when they changed the university fees from £3,000 a year to £9,000 a year.
Okay.
And I was like, that's a lot. And I thought, I don't really want to spend that much money. It seems like a lot of debt, although looking back now, it isn't really any
You
debt
don't have to pay it
at
back
all.
hardly, yeah. It's free money and the best loan you'll ever get.
Yeah. And I think really I just didn't like the idea of going to university on my own. So I...
Why would you think, was it that just similar to, I don't like the new surroundings and that kind of thing, I don't want to be going on my own? Because other people say of my friends group, they went to say Newcastle with friendship groups because they were probably in a similar thing, because they wanted to be close to home, they wanted to go with people they know. But whereas me, complete opposite, I went as far away as I can on my own just to get out of fucking here.
Yeah, do you know, really and truthfully, I just wasn't mature enough.
Yeah.
And I guess my friends at the time, well, these are my friends, but they weren't going to university, and the other ones, one got a place in Oxford, and the other one went to Northumbria. But yeah, it was always a thought I would just do it on my own, and then didn't fancy it, made an excuse.
Yeah. So then, what was kind of the shift then from I'm going to uni to do sports to what am I doing next?
So,
can you remember the thought process?
What I did was, that summer I was just planning on having 4 months off, relaxing, play cricket, and
some holidays.
Yeah, summer holidays. And my parents decided that I should get a job, so I had to go and get a job. And then I applied to a few different places, and then ended up at the North Lakes. And the original plan was I'd just defer my uni placement to the year after, and
just so you could mature a bit and that kind of thing, build that money up.
Yeah, get a bit of money, become a bit more mature, and then go again when I was 19. And then I guess during that year, I just did really quite well at the old hotel job. And yeah, got promoted to like a full-time supervisory role at the hotel, and thought, you know what, I could just give this a crack.
What did you enjoy then about working in the hotel in that job role?
I just found it easy. At the time I was sort of working 5 nights a week, and it was just quite enjoyable. I enjoyed the team I worked with. I enjoyed learning about booze and different alcohols. I liked speaking to the guests, and I just found it quite easy.
So at that age, it's like, even though bar work people may slate a bit, it is quite sociable, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and there's so many different types of bars, isn't there? Like, I was lucky that I worked in a 4-star hotel bar, not a Wetherspoons. And I think if I'd probably worked in a Wetherspoons and getting abuse, it would be a different kettle of fish. But I worked in a place where it was seen as quite a nice place to work.
No, it definitely is a nice place to work, isn't it? I haven't been back in years, but I enjoyed it.
Nah, I was actually there the other night. I just popped in, and I didn't have anything to eat or drink, but it is a beautiful hotel.
Yeah, all the
Spent a lot of
refurb
money
stuff.
on it. Yeah, so it's not bad. And I enjoyed the fact that we got a membership to the spa and the gym for free. So I used to go for a gym and a sauna before work.
I know, the spa was so nice, isn't it? I didn't really go that much, to be fair. I got a few massages and stuff, but yeah.
It was the perks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The perks, massage, facials.
Yeah, I could do a massage now, like.
Yeah. Better when it was free.
Yeah, I know. It's so expensive. So then you worked, that was your first proper job then, should we say? And then you went up to the bar supervisor.
Yeah.
So what kind of like extra responsibilities would you have got given with that role at that age?
Oh.
You should have been quite young then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 19. Seems like quite a long time. Nearly 10 years ago, that now.
For me, you're getting old, like.
It's. I started on the 27th of July, 2012, so it's 10 years in 2 weeks. But what were my extra responsibilities? It was making sure that the service was up to scratch. Obviously, we were at that point we were big into the old mystery shoppers with the AA, weren't we? So it was all about making sure that every guest received a good standard of service.
Do you want to explain the mystery shopper to people that wouldn't know?
Oh Jesus, that's
just a quick recap. Yeah.
Basically, what hotels do is they pay a subscription fee to the AA, and they send an inspector on a yearly basis to inspect your hotel and grade it in terms of your food offering and your hotel offering. And at that time, Thwaites were really keen on doing it, and I think we had you paid for extra inspections. So I think at that point they were on six inspections a year. I think.
6.
Yeah, I mean we do one now. One with the AA and one with Relay and Chateau. So it's not as intense, but it's good fun.
Yeah, so the extra responsibilities and being a supervisor at 19, like how did you know where the standards were? Or was it you?
It was written down on a bit of paper.
Yeah. Was that the support from the assistant managers and the department manager, or
just gets handed down, doesn't it? You go, here's a list of questions that a guest would ask themselves, and it would be like, were you greeted in the bar by a bar person? Were you served drinks at the table, not at the bar? Did you ask any questions about I don't know,
X, Y, and Z, or whatever.
Y, and Z. Yeah. Did you receive? I think did you receive nuts with your drink? Was your drink served on a napkin? And it would be, you'd have to answer yes to all those questions. So, it was just put in a big Excel spreadsheet with a load of questions, and you just went from there. And it's still the same now.
So when you were doing that, then what was like the next steps? Then were you thinking, I want to be assistant manager, or was it just like I want to go with the flow, be bar supervisor, get some money, and go out with my mates at the weekends and that kind of stuff?
No, it was I want to be a hotel general manager. Almost within probably a year of being there, I was like, you know what, I could do that.
Why was that?
Because they seem to have every weekend off. No, so Anthony, who's still my boss now, was the general manager there, and he was obviously paid very well. I don't know what he got paid, but obviously a lot more money than I was getting paid. He'd work 5.5 days a week, and he'd have Saturday night off and Sunday off every week. And he got a company car. And I thought, you know what, that looks like a sick lifestyle. Walk in here, you walk around in a suit all day. People think you're really cool because you're a hotel general manager and you get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not? That sounds like a good job to have. And at the time, there was, and there still is, a really big recruitment crisis. So there just isn't enough people going into hospitality to fill the jobs. So I did the math and I thought, you know what, in a few years' time, there'll be a few general manager vacancies available. So I thought that could be a bit of an easy way to make a living.
So a year in then, you thought, right, that's where I want to be. And then can you remember what you were doing to make that become a reality?
I became a yes man, Adam.
Really?
And anything, basically, if you got asked to do anything for a manager, I'd just say yes and do it.
Would you recommend that?
Oh, yeah, everyone loves licking people's asses, don't
Yeah.
they? Who doesn't? If people come to me and say, what more can I do, Max? I want to get better at my job. I'm like, yeah, how good's that?
I think, I'm guilty of it as well, like still now.
People say it's a bad thing, but why is it a bad thing?
I think if you want to progress, you need to go above and beyond, don't you? To a certain extent. You don't want to fucking to go too far, but you need to go the extra mile to show that you care and you want to progress in your job or your career or whatever.
Absolutely. If you're showing up 5 minutes late every single day and when people ask you to do something, you say no, then... And it's all about who thinks highly of you, isn't it?
100%.
So,
but still treating everyone the same at the same time.
Yeah, though. But everyone has favourites.
Yeah.
You have favourites, don't you?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't have favourites.
You're my favourite podcast guest today.
There you go.
But yeah, I think it is being like tactical, isn't it? With who you maybe speak to a bit more, or do favours for a bit more, or say yes to a bit more, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, do you know what? I like being helpful. So like, I think it's just a natural thing as well. As well as actively thinking about doing it. Yeah.
So then, obviously, we went from supervisor to your assistant manager or straight to bar manager?
So here we go. This is what I did. I was bar supervisor, and then I picked up a few extra hours in the restaurant, just waiting tables. And then I got a promotion to, I don't even know what my job role was then. I basically helped in weddings and events. So I'd run a wedding and events when the wedding and event manager was off. So I did a lot of weddings, still did a little bit behind the bar, worked a lot in the restaurant and supervised the restaurant. And then when I was 21, I got promoted to bar.
Right, another technical difficulty. We are back. So you were 21 and you were promoted to bar manager.
Yeah, promoted to bars manager. And then it was sort of similar time, they combined the bar and the cafe. And that's probably when about you. No,
I think
started around then.
I think I started when you were still doing the events and stuff, and I think you were just getting the bar and the cafe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that was just about then. Yeah.
So I started doing that. I did that for 18 months, and that was probably my hardest job I've ever had. To be fair.
Why is that?
Because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was promoted to that role because I was the best person at serving people. Had no managerial skills. I was 21. I was still really quite immature, and I had a team of 10 maybe. And like being in charge of people's rotas, like 10 people's rotas, doesn't sound like a lot, but you're dictating people's lives on a day-to-day basis, aren't you? Which people don't give enough attention to, and they still don't.
How did you find that then at 21?
Well, I always used to try and do the rota so it would best benefit me, which is not a good way of doing it. And I swiftly changed that to I'll try and do the best to benefit everybody else, and that's not a good idea either. So yeah, just challenge, but you learn those skills by making mistakes. And it probably took me a good 18 months to really learn how to look after people. I think,
you've been thrown in the deep end, haven't you, at 21 though?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, I had a good support around me, but it still doesn't help stop you making mistakes from time to time, does it? So, but yeah, that was good. It was good experience. And then I moved from there to assistant manager, and I did that I probably only did that for about 8 months. And then I moved down to Southampton to do an assistant manager role.
Yeah.
In their hotel there, called the Solent Hotel and Spa, which was an absolute beast. That was a how many bedrooms did it have in the hotel? 130 bedrooms in the hotel, and they'd just built a 50-bedroomed lodge adjacent to the hotel. So I'd gone there where it was a massive time for change at that hotel, and it's my first time living away from home, and I
gonna
was
say that,
6 hours away or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I probably wasn't really ready to do that move either. And I don't know how old I'd have been there, 23. So I reckon I'd right failed if I went to uni at 18 if I still wasn't ready at 23.
Yeah, how did you find the move then at 23 away from home? Because like you say, you
Horrendous.
obviously chose to stay at home, didn't you? And then obviously you got your job,
Yeah.
and then moving so far away at 23, it's a big lifestyle change, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So the whole idea of renting a flat and understanding how much money I would have and budgeting on a month-to-month basis, I just didn't do. So I used to, I got myself in quite a bit of debt on credit cards. I think I probably maxed out a couple of credit cards while I was down in Southampton and Bristol where I moved to. But it was just winged it. I remember when I first went down there, I didn't have any money at all. So I lived in the hotel for the first 6 weeks, which was grim because I just never left.
Yeah.
I lived in a bedroom and I used to live off Tesco meal deals.
You work there and you live there. Oh,
So I ended up doing like 60, 70 hours a week because I just had nothing else to do. And in between, I just get pissed. Because who doesn't?
Yeah.
And then what did I do? I can't even. Where did I move to?
You went to Bristol, but I was going to say, how did you find the experience then of moving away from home for the first time and moving to Southampton? What did you kind of learn from that, either personally and professionally?
Personally, I probably just gained a few life skills. Actually, learn how to organise my life.
Yeah.
And
Do you think it's important? It's a big thing that people underestimate. For me, at 18, going away from home, I remember my dad dropping me off and me thinking in my little dorm room, like, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah.
I don't have to cook, clean, wash my clothes.
Yeah, I could do all that. I just didn't know. I didn't plan to do it.
Right, schedule it in.
Yeah. So it was just like all of a sudden I didn't have as much time. But yeah, do you know, it was all right. It was the immaturity with money that was the big issue, and just thinking I could just go out all the time still. I think I saw that as my sort of my uni at the time.
Yeah.
To go away, but everyone was already working, so all my mates worked at the hotel. I didn't have enough time to do any sort of football or any sports.
Was that when you kept on coming to Cardiff all the time? Was that when you came to Bristol?
Yeah, well, we went to, when I first moved to Southampton, that's when we went to Hideout Festival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then, that was July, and then I came to Cardiff for my birthday in September.
Yeah, and that's when you got in that relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got a relationship in Cardiff. So, and then...
That was a crazy time.
Yeah, it probably wasn't my best idea.
Yeah.
But
you look back, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of them things. But what I was going to say was, what did you learn professionally from that move to Southampton overall?
I don't know. I looked at it as a bit of a grim time at work. I was just sort of just working day to day. So I was an assistant manager doing duty manager shifts, which for people who don't know is you basically just fight fires. Not literally, but you're responsible for the whole hotel. So if a guest's checking at 3:00, you check them in, and then if they're going for a drink in the bar at 5, then you go to the bar and you work in the bar. Then you go into the restaurant, then you clear the restaurant down, you go to bed, you get up in the morning, you help out with breakfast, and then you check them out. So you're just basically just following guests around the hotel all day, making sure they're all right. I took over the health and safety for their hotel, so I looked after basically their fire safety files, the fire food. No, I didn't look after the food safety. Chef did that for good reasons. And the health and safety files, so making sure all the risk assessments were filed and up to date, which was actually quite useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was only there 8 months, so I sort of, by the time I started and got used to it, I was leaving. I did quite a lot of work in their housekeeping department, making beds and flopped at that really. So yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind 8 sort of months.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Bristol. I say promoted. It wasn't really. I think I was moved, internal move to work as the restaurant manager at the hotel in Bristol, which was really actually, I learnt loads there.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was only there 6 months, I think, before I left.
What would you say you learnt the most from that?
The GM was really good. So the GM would sit all the heads of department down every single week and have an hour with them, and he would just like ask you what you were doing, what you'd sort of, and he'd give you tasks, and he'd sort of say, right, what have you learned this week? What you need to learn this week, sort of thing. So it was really good. I learned a lot about how to like manage people there through him, and how to roster a little bit better and just be a little bit more just understanding of how hotels work.
Yeah.
Was really good at that.
So then after the Bristol experience, you moved back up, didn't you, to Cumbria for a bit?
Moved back to Cumbria. I moved to Castle Green Hotel in Kendal to work as the restaurant and bars manager there. And that was just running the restaurant. So looking after a team of, I think it was about 15. Could have been less. So doing rotas. Actually made them a new cocktail list. That was quite fun. We're just boring stuff. Ordering uniform, recruiting people into the restaurant, training.
And then
standard things.
Did you go anywhere else before? And then was it just?
I did. I went to work at a hotel called Lowood Bay in Windermere for the summer. Basically it was just before I went to Australia. I knew I was going.
Yeah.
So they basically offered me a lot of money per hour to just go and work there throughout the summer because they were going to be really busy and they had no staff. So I was a money whore. Yeah. I went for the money.
Because what made you want to go to Australia then? Because obviously, like, you're having new experiences at hotels. You maybe moved back because you didn't like living away from home, and you just wanted to change the scenery, or just like you say, a career break, or what? What was the mindset?
Career break.
Yeah.
I was exhausted when I left Bristol. I was just shattered. I was working like 55, 60 hours a week. I didn't look after myself at all. Stopped going to the gym.
Yeah, that's not good.
Drinking excessively. Nah, put myself down. I was drinking too much. So I was just exhausted, and I didn't really have any mates in Bristol, so I didn't really do anything other than work and drink. Where I lived in this grim house. Did you ever go to that house?
No, I never did. I went to Bristol, the hotel, a couple of times, and I was going to move there, but I never went to your house. No. So
I lived in this. So this is how I got told to find a room in Bristol. It was through. It was like flatmates, something like that. And I looked for a professional house, and I got a room in this 4-bed house, and I was there 5 months, and I only met one of the other people living there. No one ever came out of the room. There was a guy. He worked in PC World. He was 40. I can't actually remember his name, but he used to work shifts. So he would only be here on an evening time eating takeaway curries, not takeaway, microwave curries. And he was so hard to speak to. Like you'd sit down.
Stink as well if he was eating microwave curries all the time.
Yeah, grim. So you'd sit down in the front of the room. You're like, "You alright?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." You'd be like,
"Great combo.
Do you have a good shift?" And he'd go, "Yeah." Or no. And then that'd be it. So you go and sit in your room, and then the other 2 people that lived there I never saw. So a bit of a grim 5 or 6 months really.
So what was the thing that made you want to go to Australia then and take the career break?
So I'd been on holiday there, and that in 2017. And I just thought, you know what, it's like England but it's hot.
Yeah.
So I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And just booked a flight.
It's a big change, isn't it? Because a lot of people would be too scared to do that. So it takes a certain kind of person to make that decision, doesn't it?
Yeah, unless you're just sick of your life now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are just stuck in the routine, aren't they? They don't want to take the risk, and I feel like people are happy to just coast through life and just bob along with the system or the way they're supposed to do things, and they don't want to say, all right, I'm not happy, I need to make some sort of decision in my life, so let's do X or let's do Y. Especially when you're in your 20s, it's the time to take risks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, that's the one thing that scares me, is if I get to say 30 or 40 and say I haven't taken whatever risks or whatever opportunities and I regret not doing it. If I try it and I don't enjoy it, it's fine. I'll learn from that. But if I don't do it, I'll always regret it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's something I've never really thought of. But do you reckon people get pressured into getting a house and a mortgage and having a kid and getting married?
I think it's a society pressure, maybe, just because say for example at school it's like do your GCSEs, it's do A-levels,
Systematic, innit?
and then go to uni because it's bums on seats for the budget, isn't it? The more kids or uni students have got, the more budget the
Yeah.
people will get, and then it's like get a job so you can pay your national insurance and your tax and that to the government and stuff like that. But
Got to give the Queen her bit, haven't you?
yeah, but it's like nobody teaches you like how to set up a business or how to do like, I don't know, profit and loss account or a cash flow forecast
Or
or
budget the life.
yeah, budget your life, or even get a mortgage or whatever, or take out a loan or whatever the fuck like you actually need in your real life. They just teach you what fucking Pythagoras' theorem is that nobody actually uses. You know what I mean?
Do you not use that?
Oh, just every single day I wake up and I do it on my desk, but apart from that, not really.
Yeah, no.
So obviously you made the move to Australia then,
Yeah.
and then I came to your leaving party, and then you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good. Good night, wasn't it? Appleby.
yeah, it was a crazy night.
Yeah. Did
And-
you stay at mine?
Yeah. Because I remember, I think I had an event the next day or something. I literally drove up for that and then drove back the next day. So you went with a mate, didn't you, at the time?
Yeah.
And then how did it all unfold from there then?
So
She went with a friend and then kind of.
yeah, went with a friend, James, Big James. And we flew to Brisbane. For those who've been to Australia will know where that is. You probably don't have a clue.
No idea.
Flew there, and then we did a bit of travelling. Basically, everyone travels up the east coast of Australia. That's like the main place where everything is. So
So you were
it's
just
like,
partying to start off with, weren't you?
yeah, 90 days drinking in a row.
Intense.
I was proud of that.
I remember you ringing me like every night, like, you're not going to be what I did last night. I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah, it was fairly mental, but really good fun. So spent the first month just travelling, going different places, enjoying it, looking at the scenery, going to the beaches, just enjoying life. And then
And you were staying in hostels, were you?
hostels.
And you say that's the best place to make friends.
Yeah, 100%. Like I didn't. The whole idea of hostels here is like grim, innit?
Yeah.
But over there, they're like hotels. Like everyone just goes and stays in a hostel, and you stay in a room of like 6, 10, 12, 20 if you're really rogue. And everyone's just enjoying it. People are just visiting different places, and you just meet loads of different people. But it's weird because generally people travel either up or down the east coast.
Yeah.
So you always go to the same places and see the same people. So by the time you get to the end of your, like the top or the bottom,
Stint
you know
around, yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
So it's it's really good fun. Made a load of good friends.
Was it easy to get the visa in the first place?
Yeah, you just Google it online. You just go Australian visa, working holiday visa.
Yeah.
You apply for it. It costs about £100 or something, and then you just get it granted, unless you've got any criminal convictions,
Yeah.
like you.
I've got loads.
Yeah. So, really easy. That got granted. Then I booked a flight. Booked that.
Then you
all
partied for
year in
90 days
advance.
then?
Partied for basically 90 days, and then my friends Kirky and Connor came over in December, and we did a bit more travelling. So 4 of us, and then went to Sydney for Christmas and New Year. I've spent 2 Christmases in Sydney, and I've never seen the fireworks at New Year. It's the only reason I went. Did Christmas and New Year in Sydney. That was really good fun. And then went to work on a banana farm to do some farm work to qualify for a second year's visa.
I remember you saying that was literally the worst.
It was so grim. So it's typical, innit? We're from Cumbria, the wettest place in England, and I went to the wettest place in Australia.
I don't know. Explain to people why you need to do that work then for the extra visa then.
So basically, there's
So you had the year
yeah,
initially and then
to qualify for a second year's visa, you have to do 13 weeks. Oh, I can't remember how many days it is. 89 days, whatever it works out. You have to do working on a regional farm or the equivalent of that. So you could work in the outback in a pub, but I went for the bananas because everyone likes going to pick fruit. And then what you can do then is then you can apply for your second year's visa, and you have to prove through pay slips that you've done this work. So loads of people go and do it, and it's such an experience. But it's good fun, but it's the worst experience of your life at the same time. I worked on a banana farm.
So after that then, if you did the banana farm for 89 days or whatever, what was the plan then for the second year? Was it
I didn't have one.
Was
It was
get a
COVID,
job
wasn't it?
or it was
It was COVID.
yeah.
So like when when I was doing the banana farming, which was interesting. That's when COVID sort of kicked in. So while I was there, the whole world was in lockdown. So I stayed there. I did more than 3 months in the end. I did 5 months because I had nothing else to do.
You loved it.
And I was a critical worker, supplying Australia with bananas. So then I stayed for an extra 5 months, and then I got sick of it. I was just like, I'm so ready. Like, you just get weird things happen to your body, like diseases, and like I had this.
Should I be sitting this close to you?
I had this weird growth from like the side of my leg, which was like, I don't know if it was a spider bite or like an ingrown hair, and it got infected. But everything's trying to kill you in that part of the world.
That's not good.
So yeah, that was. So I was just like sick of it. I was ready to go. I had really bad like it was like a heat rash, like my joints and stuff. And when you work with bananas, like your hands go like really muddy because there's like sap that come out of the bananas.
Yeah.
And you're just dirty, and you can't get it off even in the shower. So your knees just go brown. So grim. So yeah, so I was sick of it, and then I moved to Sydney with a few of my friends that I made doing the banana farming, and I got a job knocking on people's doors and signing them up to the Red Cross Australia charity.
Lovely. So did you do that then for pretty much all the second year then?
Yeah, so I did that for over a year, and the only reason I did it is because I needed a job, and everywhere was shut.
Yeah.
All the bars were shut, all the hotels were shut, and I need to make some money. And I could have gone into construction, but I can't build anything.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah, I
difficult.
did door knocking.
So then, what made you come home then from Australia after the 2 years of being there? Was it just because your visa ran out, or was there an
No, my
opportunity?
sister's selfish and decided to get married.
Oh, terrible, like.
Disgraceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who does she think she is? So yeah, she was due to get married in what year did she get married? 2021. She was due to get married in 2020 in December, and it got put back because of COVID, obviously. So the original plan was I'd fly back to England, watch her get married, and then fly back to Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID locking everything down and not doing international flights made it a little bit more difficult. So I had to fly back and decided I would just try and find a job. And I found a job working as a hotel manager. And I'm still doing it now. So yeah, it was. I always wanted to still go back to Australia, so I didn't really want to come home.
Yeah.
Situations.
Yeah, especially during COVID, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it was grim. It was grim.
So as a whole, Australia, would you recommend it to people?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Anyone that hasn't done it just need to go and do it.
Yeah.
Especially if they think, anyone who thinks about doing it needs to go and do it. And if people don't want to do it, then obviously don't. But yeah, it's such an experience. That was, I grew up a lot doing it. Massively.
Moving to a different country is a big character building experience, I think.
Yeah, you've done it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You tried. Where'd you go? Croatia or something?
I've
Hungary?
been IB forever now.
Yeah, that doesn't count. you can't claim you lived in Ibiza for 5 months and say you moved to a different country.
4 months. I did that, and then I did Croatia, Hungary, Czech Republic, Prague, and going back to Marbella.
Did you ever have to get a Spanish bank account?
I couldn't get one.
Number?
I couldn't get one, no.
So yeah, it was stuff like that, like actually living there and having to pay tax in a different country.
Yeah.
Is it a different kettle of fish? No, probably not.
No.
It is in a way. Yeah, it was good. Good experience.
Yeah,
Definitely
glad you did
recommend
it.
it to anyone. Sydney's class.
Yeah.
It is mint. Like, apart from having a nice bridge and the opera house to look at, there's so many beaches.
Yeah.
So many beaches. It's so good. So many good places to eat. A lot of parks and stuff.
Yeah.
Good fun.
So, the opportunity of hotel manager, how did that come about?
Oh, well, I put on my LinkedIn, I'm looking for work, and everyone was like, yeah, get in back in. And basically, my boss, Anthony, now, had started a consultancy business, and he was consulting for Farnham Hall. So I was looking for work and thought he could do a job for me. So he had a bit of a Zoom call, which I'd never used Zoom before at all. And that was good fun. And he thought, yeah, this could work out. And then he set me up a Zoom with the owners. They obviously thought I was all right. And then, they offered me a job here to start in August. and that was August last year. So they flew me back from Australia. That was quite fun. And then started here in the August, and it's been a laugh. Really, I don't really like being back in Carlisle. No offense.
Yeah.
But the weather's just a bit rubbish. I know it's beautiful today. If anyone can see the sunshine today, there isn't a cloud in the sky. But I bet this is the second day this year it's been like this.
And the one was yesterday.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, the weather. Like, especially in the winter. I know everyone says it, but it is grim, innit?
Yeah. Awful.
Like it, and this is actually a fact. Actually, I should have said
Hashtag
it's one of my
fact.
3 facts. So I'm sure, although it's not actually, I've not been diagnosed. I've got a vitamin D deficiency, so I get really dry skin.
Really?
When I'm not in the sun. Yeah, sometimes when I come in body.
I take calcium and vitamin D tablets every day.
Do you do it every day?
I take multivitamins with iron, fish oil, and calcium and vitamin D.
Right, I say I
Every
take
day.
tablets every day, but I don't.
I do. It's just a routine. You need to get into it, mate. It feels so much
Yeah,
better for it. It's one of them
I know.
things. If you take it once every so often, no difference. If you take it consistently over time.
Yeah, people don't do it though, do they? They say they do it, but they just forget.
I do.
So yeah, if
hotel. So you came back in
yeah,
as the hotel manager.
Yeah.
The biggest promotion to date.
never done it before.
After taking 2 years hiatus, you come back in. How did that make you feel?
It was anticlimax.
Was that?
Yeah, everyone says it though, don't they? I always had a goal of being a hotel manager,
Yeah.
and I started on my first day, and I was like, I didn't feel any different. So yeah,
Small problems.
Yeah, I had more problems, more people to deal with. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I love it. I do love my job. I enjoy coming to work, but yeah, anticlimactic.
Yeah. What would you
It's definitely the word.
What would you say then, over the last couple of years, that you've either grown as a person or you've learned professionally, and how's that step up progressed you forward in your career, would you say?
Do you know what? When you're the manager, I don't know, you'll sort of get it from working in hotels. People get promoted because they're good at the job. But when you're a manager, you have to make other people better at their jobs, and it's not about me. So it's funny. My success is down to other people being successful. So I think that's what I've learned.
Would it be something like, say, for example, if there's, say, 3 tiers, say you're at the top and there's a middle and there's a bottom, it's about them problems only filter into the top if it's like really, really important and needs you as a decision maker.
you've got
You want your supervisors and your team leaders
to deal
or
with
whatever.
their own shit.
Yeah, and then if there's anything that's really super important that only gets to you and you just have to make those decisions.
Yeah, do I make any massive decisions? Not really. I try and give everyone else the decisions to make, and I've got to teach them how to deal with their own problems.
Yeah.
But the main thing's about creating a good culture for people to come into work for.
Why would you say that?
Because if people are happy, they work harder. It's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah. Spitting facts today.
Yeah, it's a nightmare to keep people happy. So what do we employ? About 42 people, I think we employ at the minute. So yeah, we just try and make it so it's a nice place to come into work. Because mind you, North Lakes is always a happy place to work, but as soon as you get one miserable fucker coming in,
brings you
everyone down.
Yeah.
Everyone down. And it's the whole thing, innit? Like, no one likes being shouted at, so don't shout at people. Or try not to. I do get quite frustrated sometimes. But yeah, just try not to shout at people. Try not to be angry with people. Just be like, if you got an issue and something's gone wrong, fuck it, happens. How do you deal with it? And you're best dealing with it in a happy place than in an angry or frustrated place. So I think that's what I've learned the most.
Yeah.
Creating a good culture.
That's important, I think. Would you say then, even though it wasn't 100% planned, would you say moving back at the time and getting this job was right for you at where you're at in your life?
Do you believe in fate?
I haven't really thought that deep into it, to be
innit?
fair, yeah. I haven't thought that deep.
Nah. Do you know, I'm a bit believe in fate.
Yeah. Would you say you're quite spiritual then or not?
No.
No, just fate.
I've got a bag of rocks at home that I bring out once a month. No, I don't.
I was going to say
I
crystals
read
and
the
that.
star signs. No, not at all, but everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
Yeah. Take it as it comes kind of thing, take it in your stride.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't expect my life to look like it does now 2 years ago, but then if you'd asked me 2 years before that if I was going to move to Australia, I'd have probably said no.
Yeah. So much can happen in a year, never mind 3 or 5, can it?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So what do you say next steps are then for you?
Haven't a clue.
No?
Wing it and see.
Wing it and see. I think that's the best way. If you plan stuff out, things never go to plan, do they? I think you can have a sense of direction, steer the ship in the right direction, and then just take it.
You just got to put yourself in the right places, haven't you?
Put yourself in them situations, yeah, 100%.
You're like, you're always banging about it. Just be consistent.
Consistency is the most important thing in the whole entire world, in my opinion.
Just keep showing up, and it'll happen.
The same things day in, day out. No matter if you don't see results now or in a year's time, it will pay off. You know, I mean, I was actually speaking to my dad earlier. He was saying, "Oh, you're looking forward to going to London. I'm going to London tomorrow for a few days, whatever."
Oh,
London. I think my voice broke there. And I was saying, "Oh yeah, it's going to be at this present time the biggest shoot that I've done over like 2 days, monetary and probably production wise and stuff." And I was saying, "Oh yeah, well I've got like say 5 other leads at the moment." And he's saying, "Oh yeah, things have really seemed to pick up lately." And I'm saying, "Yeah, I think it's just being around for long enough." You know what I mean? So say I only really started doing like a content first approach for my business August last year with Yoni, and say July, this is the 12th month. And I was saying, if I've done this in 1 year, then in the second year, if I'm because normally business is like 2 years and then you should be sound, then if I can carry on the trajectory that I'm at, it'll be absolutely crazy. But just being around so you're the person that people turn to, because I've had 2 inbound leads, right? One that's booked through my booking link who says from somebody that I don't even know has recommended me, and then another person who messaged my Facebook page saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen your TikToks," and I'm like, "That's mad," you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're in a really good place. What you're in a business and an industry which is just gonna boom. It's only going in one direction,
and it's service based. So there's literally next to no overheads. You know what I mean?
Absolutely right.
But yeah, enough about me. So, before we get into everyone's favorite part, which is relationship advice, which I know you're really excited about, and the guest in the audience is really excited about. Is there anything you want to say if anyone's ever thinking about moving to Australia or getting into hospitality as a whole?
Nah, not really.
No. What a great guest.
Yeah. So I'll shut you down at some point. Nah, I don't know. Just do what you feel is right. Yeah, take a risk.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Don't be boring. I think that's a good thing to live by, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know, but people like settling down, don't they? People like buying a house. People like having kids. So everyone's different.
There's no time scale. I don't think. Don't feel like you're in a race with people.
Oh, do you know what? That's actually a good piece of advice. Like, you're never too old. So, like, when I went to Australia, there was barely anyone that was like 18, 19 taking a gap year. There's a few, but not really. Like, everybody was like my age. So even by the time you get to 28, 29, 30, you are not too old to go travelling. Yeah. I think that's probably a common misconception.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not being funny. Like, I would happily, in my 30s, quit my job and go and live in, I don't know, age of 6 months.
Yeah, Bali doing the 5-year visas tax-free.
Yeah, but see, I couldn't do that because do you not have to like have a job in England?
I'm not sure. It's digital nomad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
But yeah, I think, people think their job is so, like, they think if they quit the job, they're never going to get another job again.
I know. I say that to people all the time.
And it's the most mental thing ever. Like, honestly, you could probably walk out your job tomorrow and they'd replace you the week after.
Yeah.
And you'd find a job a couple of weeks after that.
Everyone's replaceable, aren't they?
100%. But I know, it's the one way to look at it, though, isn't it? You could always get another job because everyone's worth something.
Exactly. Right, so on to everyone's favourite segment, which is relationship advice. So we've had 3 people anonymously message in. So the first person, so the way we do it is you'll name them and then I'll ask the question, then you can answer and we're kind of back and forth. So we've had a girl that's messaging. What are we calling her?
Let's call her Jane. We'll pretend it's my mum.
All right, so Jane's messaged in. She said, right, I've just met this boy for the second time and he's taken me to listen to this podcast thing he's recording. What should I do? Should I see him again or not?
If I'm giving my mum this advice, she was...
No, this is Jane. This is anonymously messaged in.
Yeah, okay, Jane. What would I do? I don't know. Probably sack him off, to be honest.
Sack him off, yeah. I'd do that as well. It'd be so boring just sat listening to like and chatting about a podcast for like an hour.
I'm not being funny. If you're taking your second date to go and watch a podcast, I mean, really?
It's so weird, like.
You could take her to McDonald's.
Yeah, to be fair, that would probably be what they'd do next after the podcast.
That's your favourite restaurant, though, isn't it?
That's my person. I don't know about Jane, but it's mine personally.
Yeah.
But all right, okay. So you say sack him off. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
100%.
So the second one is let me try and get my notes up here if I've got it down here somewhere. Right, okay. So this is a boy. What we calling him? Adam. So what a great name. So Adam.
Is that what it says? What a great name.
So
No way.
me and my girlfriend are having lots of little disagreements. It's over little things like around the house. What do I do about solving these?
I could go deep with this, couldn't I?
Yeah.
These could get quite deep.
The thing is, you could relate this to your situation if you ever have any disagreements with your girlfriend in your house.
Everyone does though, don't they?
I think it's important to have a little bicker now and again, isn't it?
Nah, do you know,
It's healthy.
I don't argue with Erin, ever.
We surely have disagreements though.
Yeah, but she's really laid back, so she just knows I'm being grumpy. But yeah, I think when you're living with somebody or you with someone, like, are they going to do everything how you would want them to do it all the time? Like, no way. Like, you just got to accept that you're different people. You just got to get on with it and give them a bit of slack. We're not doing anything to piss you off on purpose.
Like nobody's perfect kind of thing.
They're not.
Compromise is key.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, Adam. So listen to that advice.
There you go.
And right, the last one is, right, I feel like me and my boyfriend are more like friends now.
Is this a boy or a girl?
Well, this is a girl, yeah, because a boyfriend. I don't think we've had any like same-sex couples messaging yet, to be fair. But I feel like more friends. We're growing apart. Can I fix this? And if you think I can fix it, how can I do this?
Growing apart.
No, sorry. I feel like me and my boyfriend are more like friends now. I feel like we've just grown apart. Can I fix this? And if I can, what should I do?
Haven't a clue.
Not a clue.
No idea.
No.
It's hard, isn't it? Unless you're in that situation.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like the spark's gone or something like that. Maybe go away on like a holiday or a night away to try and.
Yeah, you could do something like that, couldn't you? But
if you're in the same surroundings over
Valentine's
and over
Day?
again, that could be a long time. We're in July. Wait until Valentine's Day.
Christmas. When's the birthdays?
I need more info on this one. Then.
Depends how much she wants to save it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could it be him? Ask him. Honesty is the best policy, isn't it?
Communication's key. Ask him. Ask him.
Yeah, ask him. Just tell him how you're feeling.
Right. Okay. So that is the last question of the relationship advice. Is there anything, closing thoughts, anything you want to plug? Do you want to plug your Instagram or the business or whatever?
Not really. I mean, I could do. I'm supposed to, aren't I? That's why I ask these questions. I don't really want him to follow me on Instagram or social media. I don't really post. It's not really that good content. I do post a little bit about my job at Farnham Hall and about the vegetable garden that we've got. Did you know I'm into gardening now?
No, I never knew that.
I don't do any work in there, but I go and take pictures of all the vegetables and all the fruit. It's quite good. I'll show you around in a minute.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
But do you know what? There's something really quite rewarding about watching plants grow.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're nearly 30.
Right, on that closing thought.
How's that?
That was great. So everyone, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment your favourite parks. Nobody ever comments. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please follow the podcast and leave a 5-star review. That would be really appreciated. And we'll see you next time. Bye.